So let's kind of just jump right specifically into this new podcast we're starting as a together, and that's the Dating Dilemma podcast. So it's simulcast with the Neil Haley show. And we kind of broken down our first couple episodes, just having conversations about dating because of your book, Dating Dilemma. And we're going to go into a topic today that everyone talks online dating. I think it's 90% of dating today is online, something ridiculous number. But there's other ways to meet your significant other, even though, those numbers are so high and still nothing happens. So let's talk about other ways to meet your significant other on that's not online.
Okay, number one, I think the one of the main things you need to do is to be kind to everybody because you never know, even in like situations where there may initially be a disagreement or a disappointment. If you react to that with kindness, you may open up the door to a relationship with that person, whether you like them initially or not. There's things that can happen. And actually, one of my friends for a long time, him and I absolutely can stand each other, and we worked for the same company. We could not stand each other. He was OCD. I'm not OCD. And he was very like, kind of, I felt like very arrogant. And when I got to know him, though, we became best friends after that because somehow we were both going through very difficult times in our personal lives. And so we bonded over that. And then we became best friends, and we just had a hilarious time at the job. I don't think I would have stayed at that job as long as I did without him being there, because we had such a great time just joking with each other. And I was giving him a hard time about his OCD, and I'd always rearrange things on his desk when he was gone so he wouldn't know where anything was, stuff like that. I mean, that. So use your kindness first. And then the other thing is be humorous. Be willing to laugh at things that that you might do wrong, or that be willing to laugh with people, not when things go wrong. Don't always take it so seriously. Instead, take it humorously and just kind of have a little joke about it or whatever. The other thing is to be a good conversationalist. Have really look into what the other person may be excited about, what they may be really pumped up about. And if you like them, then try to find out more about what they're excited about.
100%. If you do that, then you're seeing a connection by meeting them in another
Yeah.
place. You see there's a connection. A lot of times, online dating is so superficial that we really don't get to see the person.
Yeah, that's a problem. I'm actually just reading a book about online dating. It says, that it is so superficial. There's so many, like with filters, you can make yourself look like you're 30 years younger. And that's not what you really look like. Many times the pictures are not really who the people are. Another thing that you can do is get involved in singles groups. I live in the DFW area, and there's quite a few wonderful, like I'm a Christian, so I go for the Christian singles groups. And I don't go to every activity, but occasionally I'll go to their activities just to be able to mingle, just mingle. I'm not going with an agenda of finding Mr. Right. I'm going with an agenda of trying to create more friends.
That's totally true. And when you're able to do that, if things turn out better, right?
Yeah. And you can do a lot of different things nowadays. You can go play pickleball with people. Who knows who you might find at the pickleball court? I think the guy that I forgot, Timothy Scott, I believe he was the not the presidential candidate that ended up backing out. But he found his wife at the pickleball court. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do nowadays that gets you into different arenas where you may be able to find the perfect mate for yourself.
Wow. It's such great information you bring in that and you find an interest and you're like, bam. And that's sometimes difficult. You have to be really curious and also investigate, right? It sounds like with the singles groups and stuff to investigate to find a place.
And the thing is, I mean, the thing is, if you like, do really like doing something like pickleball, or going to movies, or going out to late days, which is what the singles group that I am associated with does, or going out to eat every Saturday night. If you like doing those kind of things, initially, okay, you're going in with a very positive attitude because you like doing this. You like having this activity. If you like having the activity, you're automatically going in with good positive energy instead of negative energy. If you're being forced to go somewhere that you don't want to go, you're going to come in with negative energy.
And negative energy is not a good thing, right?
Oh, never, never. You should never come in with negative energy. You should always come in with positive energy and be open to whatever life presents to you.
And so that's one way. Is there other ways in the singles groups?
Singles groups, just anywhere that you go to, be open to being even just a little bit flirtatious. Like yesterday, I was at my doctor's office for my foot, and him and the doctor, the podiatrist, and I got along like right off the bat. I mean, I had him cracking up, and then yesterday he had me cracking up, and so I talked to the girls in the office about him. I said, "Is he single?" And they said, "Yeah, but he's like 20 years younger than me." So I'm like, "Well, I know that's too young for me, but hi, honey. But but I maybe I could, and he wants to be married, so maybe I could invite him to some of the singles groups that I go to, so that he can maybe find somebody. It's not always about you. Sometimes it's like, who can I help out in their walk and their journey to love, to, and then sometimes that opens doors up for you in the meantime.
And to be open to opportunity
Yeah,
and
yeah.
dating or meeting, hanging out and friends. What about the old thing that friends would introduce you to somebody else? I guess that's when you have all single friends. But do you have any single friends, Gracie?
Yeah,
That
I have a lot of single friends. They don't really introduce me to anybody, but one of my dear neighbors, she went out to Pennsylvania quite often to see some of her friends, and they were a married couple. And they actually set her up with a guy who she absolutely fell head over heels in love for. So she's actually going to move to Pennsylvania, marry him. And those two get along like two peas in a pod. And without her friends there, that married couple, she would have never met him. And without her going to Pennsylvania, so it doesn't always even have to be local. Just be open to the possibilities, what can happen through your friends, through whether they be married or single.
and I wonder when this whole thing of online dating comes to that it's just not you might try it, but it's not going to bring any it sometimes will, but most times will not bring a long distance, a long-term relationship.
You're right. For me, I ended up, I mean, I did it for many years. I think I did that. Okay, this is the reason why I think I did it. I did it because I was nursing and I was very frustrated in my nursing career. So my online dating, I would come home and I'd look at how many hits I got, how many messages I got. And that was my good part of my life because I was actually being pursued. And then I quit nursing and then I got into writing. And became so like enthralled with my writing career that I became so fulfilled in my writing career that to go to online dating, I'm like, I didn't even want to look at the messages. I'm like, I don't even want to see what's out there because I have no interest in that. I have interest only in what I'm doing with my writing and then being open to other possibilities, but not doing the online dating thing because it just wasn't working for me. And it was always such a disappointment. You know, you get so excited, oh, I'm going to meet this guy. Maybe this is one. And then boom, it would go nowhere.
All right. Well, people can pick up your book today. Let's talk about the dating book. Where can they go?
Okay, I have the first one, the second one out. It's called Just One, The Dating Dilemma by Gracie Lynn. And I'm now working on the third book. And if you think the first or the second book is great, you just wait until the third book comes out because it's going to knock your socks off.
All right. This is a special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show and the Dating Dilemma podcast, guys. Take care.